Hello, Stash YouTube fans, if I have any. Back to the Stash channel. Tonight is going to be part one. I'm going to be doing a series on my comments that you'll hopefully enjoy on an old school television program known as The Prisoner, which is probably the best in a lot of ways in terms of television history out of the UK, out of Great Britain. The Prisoner, starring Patrick McGoohan, who is also in the movie Scanners and Braveheart. What can I say? The Prisoner is an incredible show. Spoiler alert, I guess I'll be giving away some stuff, but don't hesitate to get a hold of it. I think you can access it via Amazon Prime, I believe. I don't think it's on Netflix, but check it out. And I don't know if it's on Hulu. But Patrick McGoohan plays the prisoner. There's some discrepancy whether or not people think he was a scientist or a spy. I think he's an MI6 guy. That's the British spy service, the equivalent of the American CIA. So he's a James Bond, operative. But nothing's clear. Nothing's clear in the prisoner. It's metaphorical. It's allegorical. It's mysterious. So he's in his Lotus 7, which is a souped-up British car of his making. They say he built it. It's a rare car, the Lotus 7. Check it out. The theme song is incredible. I think that's out there on YouTube land. It starts out, he resigns. So he's in his sports car. I think it looks like he's someplace like Whitechapel, where you go below underground, and he comes in. Always his face is taunt. He's rebellious. Patrick McGoohan, he's incredible. He gives that face that he's rebelling, with the little bit of the vein in the taunt face, why can't I think, what is this part here? The primitive bone, the forehead. He is the ultimate gentleman, really handsome fella. Old school handsome. Anyway, so he's resigning. He pounds on his desk. I believe the guy that's playing his boss in the room, or the guy he's resigning to, is one of the producers, which later Patrick McGoohan would fight endlessly about which direction the series would go. It had, I think, 17 episodes. He wanted it to be less. Then he fought over it, and I think I'll leave his name in the line notes. Mr. Markenstein, I believe, or it was the George was evidently he's a genius too, but they fought. I think he played the guy that he resigns to, but so that's what you see. And this hearse comes out, this guy in a top hat comes out, and all of a sudden you see Patrick McGoohan, which is never known by any name. He is only known to us as simply as number 6, mysteriously as number 6. Everybody has a number. He gets gassed, and he wakes up in this place, and he gathers it that it's called the Village. Each episode begins with a new person who plays his nemesis, who is only known as number 2. So he's like, "Where am I?" Every time, every show, it ends up, "Where am I?" He says as a rebel, with great rebellion, with great resistance. And who's ever number 2 always replies, "The Village." And who are you? And he'll be like, "Number 2." He or she will be like, "Number 2." And he's like, "Who is number 1?" He wants to know who Mr. Big is. He's like, who is number one? They go, you are number 6. What do you want? He always asks, and they say, information. We want information. So that's the primary thing. They want to know why he's resigned. That's what they say, and you're the first number 2 is like, you're a valuable commodity. A guy like you doesn't just resign. So it's implied that he's an agent, and the knowledge within his head is invaluable. We assume it's the British government and it's MI6, but it does definitely, without question, have this New World Order idea to it. At least that's my take on it. And I think it's up for grabs as to what the real meaning of it is, but you get the idea that the village is where they take the ex-spies. But sometimes it's not even clear if it's the Soviets or somebody else. So there's a lot of you go to the mental hospital, or you go to the interrogation room, or it's Freudian, or it's B.F. Skinner, or it's MK Ultra, or it's the UK version of that. It's all these themes come rushing out, and he's got to overcome. One of the main slogans is, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. We want information, you won't get it. We will. The village where they take you, they want to know things, or people presumably stay there and never to return to society because they know too much, or they've done something to anger the world's intelligence agencies, or anger the best of the best, the MI6. So in the first one, he wakes up in the hospital. He's next to a former colleague or a friend, a guy named Cobb. Cobb is there, and so you begin as a viewer to get to know more about this village. He's like, I want to make a call. They're like, you can only make a local call. I want to drive out of here. You can't. It's only local. Everybody is always joyous in the village. Annoyingly so. There's elevator, disgusting, overly calming, generic music constantly playing, and you come to find out that the statues, the Greek and Roman style statues, all have camera eyes in them. So they like moving, and he's under constant surveillance. Now this was 1968. It's everything about it spells 2019. I mean, everything is metrics now. Nothing is human. We all willingly go on the social media, which is obviously social engineering, and we all know it, and we all love it. We can't get enough of it. Privacy is gone, more or less, and yet strangely, people are seeming more isolated, or that's definitely, it's a spy show, yes, but you get the feeling it's a lot of the common man against the bureaucracy, the common man against the system, and the system is relentless. So he's there with his friend Cobb, which is interesting because you find out that he's betrayed. Number 6 is constantly betrayed, obviously, by, of course, attractive women, which is a mainstay part of this. Although it's not a very sexual show by any means. There's not a lot of, it's not a James Bond kind of thing where he's always, having sex with the Bond girls or whatever. It's not it's not by any means that. But there's a tension and a lot of tension between number 6 and I think the first woman character is number 58 or something. Well, anyway, I forget her number, but she. It's interesting because they program her to betray him, and he falls for it in number 1. And also his friend Cobb he's told that he's committed suicide. So that's pretty ominous. There's a scene where they show people in straitjackets in their room getting programmed. He's told his friend has committed suicide, and the first female character that confronts number 6 is programmed to betray him, and he doesn't count on that. He goes for a helicopter ride outside, and they show him the village, and he's like, I'll be escaping. He's ever defiant. They take him to a room that's kind of like a infantile chamber, and they're just like in the room with toys or whatever. Everything is examined. The breakfast that they give him. In fact, the first scene where he goes to the Green Dome, the Green Dome is where every number 2 is located. They have breakfast, so it's as if it's starting off with breakfast, which is sort of interesting. Everything, or not, they know what he likes to eat, or they want to question him. Do you like tea, coffee? What do you like for breakfast? They're constantly questioning him, and he's always at odds with number 2. So come to find out, Cobb has betrayed him, and he's not dead. And in the escape plan, they go. The number 6 goes, and he's in number 6. The prisoner's in the helicopter, and it's robotically, ominously so, returns. So the technology is definitely an enemy of number 6. It's his will, brain power, and as an organic human being versus the system and versus technology. So the chopper takes him back, and that is how Arrival ends. Filmed in some island called Port Mentonton or something like that. That's the name of the famous fan groups that do it. We begin to find that everybody speaks strangely there, and there's just tons of metaphors. There's ex-military and presumably ex-spies, government workers, and there's a bizarre weapon of security known as the Rover, which looks like a giant beach ball, which is first is annoying, and then you kind of dig it as an anonymous thing. It's weird, and it seems to have a mind of its own. Crunches people, comes out of the water, and it looks like a big beach ball. And every time it comes up, there's this weird sound to it. But so the prisoner is returned in Arrival, and you also get to know that people speak strangely, and it's almost like an all-seeing eye thing. At the end of most conversations, or at different times, or whenever a character is leaving, they always make a sign, and they're like, be seeing you, which is, you get the idea. Well, it's the all-knowing eye, of the whatever, the all-seeing eye of Freemasonry or New World Order lore, definitely, or it's watching you. It is watching you. The next installment is Chimes of Big Ben, opposite, which is, of course, it's been said, and I think it's no doubt probably true. Chimes of Big Ben has something to do with betrayal or something, because it's an acronym for his friend Cobb, COBB, they say. So that definitely could be. But Chimes of Big Ben, he encounters Nadia, who's presumably she's a Estonian or Pole or Russian or something. I think it's established it was Nadia, and she's under torture, and we find that's a weakness for number 6. He feels sorry for women who are being hurt, which the enemy sees that as a weakness in him. In this one, it's he actually you can see that how resourceful he is. There's an art contest in the village. He creates with his own bare hands, like MacGyver, a boat, and he recruits Nadia, and they escape from the village. And it's kind of weird because he's already escaping. So in episode 2, you get excited. So they escape on a ship, and he makes it back to London and goes to confront his boss, the colonel. And so you're like excited. Wow, he fakes his way after they're on the boat. They get onto a container ship or something. I don't know exactly how, but he ends up back in London, confronts the colonel. Then he realizes it's Chimes of Big Ben, because he realized that Nadia says, well, I've got the location of this village for you. It's about 30 miles from the coast of Poland and somewhere between there and Lithuania or something like that. Yay, shout out to Poland. And that's how he realizes that he's been had, because he's observant, because his watch is still on Polish time, and it rings with the chimes of Big Ben, and there's like this weird silence. It's very Twilight Zone. He rips down the false door of the office, and there's a tape recorder, and he realizes that it's fake chimes, and he's really still just in the village. And you get the idea that people in the outside world are in on it, and it goes beyond what he first thought. But in this time, he shows his first successful resistance to his prison warders on the village. In the village, information, by hook or by crook. So the chimes of Big Ben. I'm not giving that much detail, so I guess these aren't complete spoilers, but I'm giving some key points. So I think it was Leo McKern, who's probably the most intense of the number 2s, who will return in later episodes. The next one, the number 2, the actor's name escapes me. I'll put it in the liner notes. Is probably my personal favorite one in certain ways. Even though I like Leo McKern as the number 2 better, but this guy's a really good number 2. The fellow with the glasses. Shoot, his name escapes me. But A, B, and C. This is another thing. This goes way back to 1968, and in the foreshadowing of the technology and what they have now, what they're talking about now in mind control, surveillance, and whatnot, is well predicted in The Prisoner, because the A, B, and C talks about the ability of equipment that can, influence and or enter people's dreams, and I believe they're working on that now. Thoughts and influencing thoughts. I think knowledge about hypnosis and things like that has grown 1,000-fold, and I think they're working on technology that can deal with dreams, and that's what this one is about. So The Prisoner, this has the best beginning in it, because there's these guys are in like raincoats, and there's like lightning and stuff. It's got the ominous kind of horror movie feel to it. So it's the greatest probably the greatest beginning of any episodes of The Prisoner is A, B, and C for me. And these guys get this, and number 6 is knocked out, and they bring him in, and they're giving him a drug, and they're entering his dreams. And this number 2 is aggressive. He wants to enter the dream. He wants to know why the prisoner resigned. So in this first one, they enter his dream, and they manipulate him, and he's okay. So for the first part of it, he's sort of helpless or whatever, but he begins to catch on that they're drugging him, and he returns to the lab where they're basically experimenting on the guy, and replaces the drug with water. And the beautiful scientist woman with an accent, it's almost like she's like a Russian or something, is like warning number 2, the new number 2, that it's dangerous if we use a lot of this drug on number 6. And he's like, I don't care, he's willing to risk it. And in this one, number 2 is always staring at his stylistic red phone, worried that number 1 or his superiors is going to call him, and because they're angry that they haven't broken the mind of the prisoner yet. And it's almost kind of hilarious, because he's like, I know, I'm expendable. So A, B, and C, the reason why they call that is because it's a party, and they're introducing characters that will attempt to extract the information from number 6, the prisoner. So in the first one, there's a handsome, dashing spy, male spy guy who interrogates number 6 and doesn't get on. And he said he just, they spar in kind of an argument within the dream, and number 6 is like, I didn't double cross anybody, I resigned, I didn't betray anyone, I'm innocent, basically. And there's a female friend of his from the world of espionage who enters the dream, and number 2 says, look, I want to know what's happening, and the woman wants, number 6 might know if you interject that character and start asking questions. She's asking him, why did you resign, and stuff like that. Number 6 within the dream gets suspicious, starts asking the question, what's your son's name, different questions that they would know and they don't know, and number 6 is like, it's not you, you're phony. That doesn't work. Now actually, I don't know, I don't even know if that was at that point. Yeah, at one point he switches the drug with water. I don't exactly have the order correct. Sorry, bloody sorry. But yeah, in that part he catches on himself, and in the final part he switches the drug for water, which is interesting. There's also probably in one of my favorite lines of the whole series is the female, I think she's number 14, the scientist, basically like a Dr. Cameron or one of these people from the agency, the CIA, who was into mind control. She's an expert in it or something. And there's a woman in the dream of number 6 who appears to be giving information away, and she goes, we'll have to take her to the village, or soon we'll take her to the village. And I thought that was great. If in other words, you go to the village if you mess up, or if you displease the spy service, it's your time to come to the village. And of course, we're all minded of Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, it takes a village. You don't raise your kid. You don't even have families. Everybody lives in the village, and you can't say anything wrong about it. That is very reminiscent of this. Everything is wonderful. Yet it's sinister. People go there to die and get tortured, mind controlled and killed. But it's nice because it's the village. It reminds me of nowadays you live up to the metrics. Everything is metrics and algorithms. So, and anyway, almost done with this segment, but ABC again. So at some point, yeah, I'm sorry, the prisoner's cognizant switches the drug for water, and he's resisting, and number 2 continues to get more unglued. He says, I want to know at all costs. So number 6 is in control now, and he's at one point he's at the party in the dream, and he's like, this is dreamy. This is a dreamy party. And he's hammered, and it's fucking with number 2 big time. The climax is he eventually, it peaks when he leads number 2 again on a wild goose chase within his own dream. And he goes to see a hooded figure, and number 2 is excited. He wants to know who the betrayer is. Number 6 insists, I'm going to take off. It's a hooded man. It's really mysterious, actually. He's in a hood. He's confronted by number 6. And he just rips the head off, and it is number 2 himself, and he loses his shit. Number 6 has had complete victory over these village snobs. He has overcome. And it's actually quite hilarious, and I think one of the best things that's ever been done on television history. So I'm going to stop right now. I'm going to continue my analysis of The Prisoner perhaps tomorrow night. A lot of spoiler alerts, some screw-ups on my part, but you get the message. If you haven't seen this show, that's what this blog is all about. Read about The Prisoner, watch The Prisoner. Tell me what you think of this show in the liner notes. Tell me what in the real world in 2019 connects to The Prisoner. Patrick McGoohan. I am not a number. I'm a free man. See you tomorrow night, my 3 or 4 Stash YouTube channel, YouTube friends. Good night.